It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time to answer the questions that you guys send in every single week on the BrendenPlayz forums at brendenplayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. Of course, Let's Talk Tuesdays is available on iTunes by searching up Let's Talk Tuesdays, also available on Spreaker, Stitcher, and of course YouTube. So just search up Let's Talk Tuesdays, you should be able to find the shows on each of those platforms. And I got to thank everyone that has been supporting the show and downloading the show. That really means a lot to me. That's fantastic to see you guys still supporting this show and really enjoying it. So it's fantastic to see. This week, though, Monday Night Raw and the world of wrestling, it's been a pretty quiet one. I mean, Raw was okay. I mean, I did skip quite a bit of Raw, to be honest with you. Most of the matches I did skip, and I just kind of got through the talking points and the main parts of the show, like the finishing touches of most of the matches, because I was in a bit of a hurry this week, so I didn't really have time to get through most of Raw. But in terms of wrestling this week, just not a big week. I mean, last week was huge, and we had a really extended show, but I don't think we're going to have a big one this week because there's just really not much to talk about. I mean, there is the pay-per-view coming up, but is there really much to look forward to in the pay-per-view? I know it's Money in the Bank, so that kind of makes it pretty exciting in itself, but I think it's pretty a foregone conclusion for who's going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and the rest of the matches are pretty predictable itself. You know, maybe the only one that can really be, you know, I could see changing or, you know, be a bit of a surprise is Owens versus Cena. We don't know really where that's going to go, and perhaps the tag titles might change hands as well. So other than that, really, I just expect it to be a very standard pay-per-view, and you know, we're obviously going to get into it in more detail later on, and we've got plenty of questions this week to answer as well. So should be able to get a pretty good show together for you guys, so sit back and enjoy as we get into this week's Monday Night Raw. Alright, so Monday Night Raw, like I said, overall, pretty decent show. Just the fact is, you know, they're building up towards Money in the Bank, and I've spoken about this quite a lot in the past few weeks, and the fact is, the Money in the Bank is just, you know, and pay-per-views in general is just missing something, and just missing that excitement, just missing that build-up, just missing, you know, those meaningful matches that you want to watch. In the last few weeks, in the last few pay-per-views, I mean, we've had, 3 pay-per-views in like 6 weeks, something like that. It's too much, and it just gets to the point where you just don't care. I mean, I cannot believe this Sunday is Money in the Bank. You know, Money in the Bank is actually going to be on my birthday, Monday morning for me, so that'll be my birthday. So I'll have something to watch when I wake up. You know, like, is it going to be a bit of big birthday present? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to it, but, you know, I don't really think there's much else to really kind of look forward to, you know, besides that. I mean, after that, we've got Battleground, and we know that's going to be a bit of a filler, and then we have SummerSlam, and that'll be what we're really looking forward to. I mean, that'll be the big steak that we're wanting to eat. You know, the SummerSlam will be very exciting, but until we get to then, I just think we're going to have to suffer it for a little bit, and yeah, I don't know. I've spoken about it enough, you know, the build-up and things like that, so I won't get into it completely, but certainly just that lack of excitement is kind of making Raw for me this week a little bit, didn't really care. You kind of knew where they were going with it, and there wasn't much really to Raw. It's just kind of like a filler show, and not much really happened, but one of the highlights of the show, I've got a few points that I wrote down, and that was Kevin Owens having, I believe, the first ever NXT Championship match on Raw. I could be wrong there, but first time I can recall. The NXT title on the line on Raw, so that was pretty cool. I mean, I did like that, and Neville accepting, that was kind of cool. You know, they played off the fact that Neville was a former NXT champion, and, you know, he wanted to take the title away from Owens rather than Cena. You know, he had to choose between Cena or Owens, so that was kind of cool. I did like that. Obviously, it wasn't the best match ever, but, you know, it was a good match. I did enjoy it, and Cena on commentary as well, like, that was a rare thing. I don't believe I've heard Cena on commentary for a long time, maybe ever since I've gone back to watching WWE again and started 2012, you know. It's been a long time since I've heard Cena on commentary, and he was, you know, he was okay. He was, you know, it's just kind of his normal, serious self, you know, wasn't really over the top or anything like that, but he didn't really need to be, you know, did his part well. So Cena on commentary is kind of good, and, you know, someone, like, brought the point up to me, and they said to me, what do you think about Cena being a commentator once he's finished? And I always thought, yeah, that could work, because I think Cena's a great talker, and he's probably pretty knowledgeable as well, so, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing that, like, down the road, you know, when Cena starts to wind down a little bit, give him another chance at commentary, see how he goes, and, you know, maybe he can be a color commentator on, you know, when he's a part-time guy, and just see how he goes, you know, I mean, that'll give him something to do full-time. I think he could be decent at it. But certainly it was different and nice to see Cena in that role, and kind of made him a little more humanized in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of never see Cena in that kind of position. You never really see Cena do those kinds of things. He just cuts his promo and leaves. Now he cut his promo and then he had to sit down. You know, we got to hear more of Cena, and they kind of really tried to build up the match. And Cena was really, really shoving it down your throat. Like, this is going to be the biggest match ever. This is going to be such a rematch. You have to watch this. You have to get the WWE Network. So he was just plugging and marketing this match like crazy. But definitely, I'm looking forward to Owens and Cena. That's probably my most anticipated match on the pay-per-view. So, Kevin Owens, his first match on Raw, that was great. You know, it was great to see him on Raw, and I think that kind of solidifies where he's at right now. We kind of heard about the rumors that he was going to be full-time, and, you know, he's going to be on the main roster for a long time, full-time now, and not just an NXT guy. So, it seems though he's been brought up properly, and he's going to be here to stay, at least for the time being. Maybe they might put him back down and make him defend his NXT title, but I don't know. I think they're going to keep Owens up now. I think they've established him as a legitimate, you know, heel threat, and, you know, it'd be a waste to kind of bring him back down at this point. So I think they're going to stick him here and keep him going and keep building him up. And I'll talk more about like my predictions for their match when I get to Money in the Bank, but certainly that's my most anticipated match. So that was good. I enjoyed that segment. And, you know, really wasn't much else to really talk about in the show. We had like the standard Money in the Bank kind of situation, everybody facing everybody in the match, and it is what it is. And probably one of the highlights of the show, and, you know, it was R-Truth, surprisingly. Very, very surprising. R-Truth came out and thought he was in the Money in the Bank, and he came out and, you know, was like, yep, I'm here, you know, can't wait to win Money in the Bank. And he's like, yeah, you're not in Money in the Bank. So he's like, oh, okay, my bad. So it's kind of funny. I did enjoy that, so it was kind of funny. R-Truth can be entertaining. I don't hate R-Truth. I do like him. I find him entertaining. I just think at this point, nobody really cares for him. They've kind of destroyed his credibility to the point that it's just beyond recoverable. I think R-Truth needs to be in a tag team. It doesn't need to be singles. Give him a tag team. And, you know, R-Truth certainly has value and certainly has a role to play. It's just singles, nobody really wants to see that. Nobody really, like, you have him, R-Truth winning singles matches, it does nothing for him. It just makes the other guy look bad, to be honest with you. But definitely R-Truth was a bit of a highlight of the show. And we had the Orton versus Sheamus match again. I skipped it. We've watched that, last week? Why do we have to see it again? Why do we have to see... How many times have we seen these guys face each other? It's just beyond ridiculous now. It's nearly as bad as Roman Reigns and The Big Show. I mean, yes, it's spanned over the course of 3 years, but these guys have been facing each other so much. I've seen it. I don't need to see it again. I can see exactly how the match is going to go out. I've seen it enough times. So I did skip that one. I watched the ending, and obviously Randy got the victory. So, look, for Money in the Bank, you know, I think it's really, like... The participants in it is very underwhelming. You know, in the last few years, it's been exciting. You know, we haven't really known, like, who's going to win it. Like, it could go so many different ways. This year, every single sign is just pointing towards Roman Reigns winning. So you have a Kofi Kingston, he's not going to win. Neville, very, very small chance. Randy, I don't think they're going to give him Money in the Bank again. He doesn't need to win it. Sheamus, I mean... He could. It's a very small chance. I mean, him losing before the pay-per-view doesn't really do him any good. And I can't even remember who else we got in there. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, he's got no chance. Come on. And Kane, come on. So there's so many guys in this match just don't really have much of a chance of winning. So it just kind of makes Money in the Bank really underwhelming. I'm not really looking forward to it all that much, to be honest with you. The match itself might be fun, but just the possibility and the outcome, who's going to win. I mean, I don't think Roman Reigns really needs Money in the Bank. You know, Money in the Bank to me is always a concept that you put on a guy that really probably couldn't win it by itself, like Seth Rollins, for example. I mean, yes, I think Seth Rollins could be a champion if you build him up enough, but he's a guy, you know, that's got a smaller look, you know, you probably wouldn't expect him to be a champion, and him getting Money in the Bank and winning in an opportunistic way kind of makes it believable in that point. Whereas Roman Reigns, he beats the shit out of everybody every single week. Do we really need him to use it? A device or a contract that gets him a title shot whenever. Does he really need that? I don't think so. You know, Dolph Ziggler, he needed that. Like a Daniel Bryan, he needed that. Roman Reigns, I don't think so. So, just, I guess for that kind of reason alone, you know, that's why, you know, that's what I picture Money in the Bank as, you know, taking the most out of an opportunity and cashing in. And a guy who probably wouldn't win it without it, you know, he's the one who gets the briefcase. Whereas a guy, you know, you can see is a future main eventer for the future. Like, you would never see, like, a Triple H. Like, if Triple H had a few years into him now and he was still up and coming, like, you probably wouldn't expect him to win Money in the Bank, you know what I mean? So, I just think Roman Reigns doesn't need to be Money in the Bank holder, but I can really see where they're going to go with it, and I'll touch on it when I get to Money in the Bank in more detail, but, yeah, just for that alone, it's kind of like that excitement factor is really missing from Money in the Bank. So watching all these matches on Raw just kind of, yeah, it's just kind of meh. You know, like, you don't really care. And just the guys in the matches just aren't really doing it for me, but it is what it is, I suppose. And finally, like, the final point that I had on Raw, I only have got a few points here, was Seth Rollins versus J&J Security. And so Seth Rollins is continuing this thing where he wants to, you know, be by himself, wants to prove to the authority they can still do it. But even on Raw, he was, like, wanting help, but was too ashamed to ask for it. So he went out there by himself. And J&J, oh my god. This is the thing that shits me with the WWE. You're world champion, right? The world champion gets beat, gets pinned. Yes, I know there was some distractions and there's all this chaos. But he gets pinned a week away, 6 days away from the pay-per-view, by two guys who aren't even wrestlers anymore. What the hell are they doing to Seth Rollins? He must be the worst booked champion I've ever seen. Honestly, he cannot win a match by himself. They've made a whole storyline with him is he cannot win a match by himself. How the hell can we honestly believe that he's going to win? How the hell do we honestly believe that he deserves to be champion? You know, I know they want to make him like a lucky chicken shit heel where he's just getting lucky and everyone's helping him out. That's the reason why he's champion. But there's got to be a point where you just go, hey, wait a minute. This is our world champion. Why don't we actually make him look good for once? Why don't we show what Seth Rollins can do and like beat the shit out of somebody and win without having to have J&J hold his hand, without having to have Kane come out and interfere in every goddamn match. It's just beyond ridiculous at this point. Yes, if Seth Rollins does go in this ladder match and wins and beats Dean Ambrose all by himself, it will mean more. That victory will mean more. That will be a great victory. But other than that, I mean, really, realistically, can we honestly believe that Seth Rollins can beat Dean Ambrose by himself? I don't. I mean, storyline-wise, I think Dean Ambrose will probably win. Because if Seth Rollins is all by himself, like, I think he's screwed. I think Seth Rollins is going to lose. So, the way I see it, I think the authority will probably see that Seth Rollins is struggling, and they will come out to help him out in the end. But it's just beyond ridiculous now. Seth Rollins, why would you get beat by J&J? Like, surely Seth can beat J and fucking J, for God's sake. Why the hell is he losing 6 days before a title defense to J&J Security? I don't know. I just don't fucking know. I wish I had an answer. I just don't. It's just stupid at this point. Alright, so we'll move on to Money in the Bank. I mean, this pay-per-view is kind of making me a bit frustrated thinking about some of the shit that's been going on. And we're going to start with the worst of the worst, and this is the kickoff match. Now, we just kind of spoke about R-Truth and how he needs to be in a tag team. Well, this is kind of really evident of it. Kickoff. King Barrett. You know how I feel about King Barrett. You know I'm not the biggest fan. I don't know if he's on the shit list. Okay, he's on the shit list. We'll say he's on the shit list. Don't care about Barrett at all. R-Truth, don't give a shit about him at all as a singles. Why am I going to tune into the kickoff match to watch these two guys go at it? And you know they'll probably add another match at last second. They might add Lost Matadors versus, I don't know, the Wyatt family or something and have the Wyatts kill them. I don't know. Like, come on. And by the way, the Wyatts using the 3D, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I just think that's going to be more detrimental to them than beneficial. I mean, the crowd tonight was pretty shit, but if they get a good crowd, they're just going to scream out 3D every time. So unless they actually are thinking about bringing back the Dudley Boys, and the rumor is it's possible, and they have a match, and kind of have the whites beat them and use their own move against them, and make it, this is our move now, we're taking it from you. Unless they go down that route, I mean, this is just really not going to work out for them. I mean, they could have picked any other move, but the Dudleys are still going around. They've been using the 3D for decades. I don't know if it's a really smart idea to give them the 3D, by the way, but I digress. So, kickoff match, don't give a shit. I mean, I think Bad News King Barrett, whatever the hell they want to call him now, is probably going to win that, but do we really care about that? Not really. Paige vs. Nikki for the title. I mean, I can see Paige winning it, but I think Nikki should just hold on to it. I mean, they might have Nikki beat AJ Lee's record as the longest reigning Divas champion. I can see that honestly happening, just so they have that gone out of the record books, because that's how the WWE works. The WWE, when there's someone who leaves the company on bad terms, they want to try and eradicate every part of them in the history books. Whether it's holding the title for the longest amount of time, they want to make sure that somebody does it more than them. Whether it's holding the title X amount of times, they want to make sure that somebody doesn't one more than them. They want to make sure that happens. They want to get that name out of the record books. Obviously, CM Punk's 434-day title reign, that's going to be tough to beat. Certainly in this era. That's why it's so impressive, but I think they can get by on having Nikki overtake AJ Lee as the longest reigning Divas champion. So I honestly think that's going to happen. I think Nikki might hold it all year. And that's not a joke. I think Nikki might hold until the rest of the year. And then we'll see maybe like an NXT Divas invasion and then have them come in and take the belt from Nikki. That's what I can see happening. But I just think Paige, I don't really want to see Paige as champion either. I mean, Paige, she's been champion enough already, and it's two times in the past year. That's enough for me. I don't really need to see her hold it anymore. I'd rather see someone else win it. I mean, Naomi was just absolute colossal failure. And now Tamina's just nowhere to be seen either. So those two, they were done, and we all knew that. The WWE have such an inability to push anybody in the Divas division that's not going for the titles. I mean, they don't have any other storylines going on. Even if they did even have a storyline for the Divas, I don't really know. They don't have anything going on for any other Divas that aren't fighting for the Divas title. And that's the problem, because then you pluck out of a Diva out of thin air and just make her win 2 matches, and then all of a sudden she's the next biggest threat to the Divas title. That's what's the problem with the Divas division. If they want to have a Divas division, then have 2 matches on Raw every week, and then you can have one going on the title, and you can have these other 2 Divas who are fighting it out, trying to be the next number 1 contender, and then you have 2 going at the title, then you have 2 more being built up in the process, fighting it out to try and be the next contender. How hard is that? So when you actually have the next contender come in, she's got 6 weeks of build-up as a potential threat for that title. She's got the build-up, and then we know, we've seen it on Raw, we go, okay, she's been winning, she earned it, she's deserving, now let's see what she can do. Rather than, how many times have we seen it? Alicia Fox getting called up. Tamina's another example. We see, okay, we've ended a feud. Let's say Paige and AJ. So Paige and AJ, they've been feuding, they ended. Paige is the champion. Let's call up Alicia Fox, who's not even on Raw in any retrospect at all, other than perhaps when a celebrity comes in and she's screaming over them. Let's bring her out and then have her win 1 fucking match, and all of a sudden she's the next big thing in the Divas division. It's just, shit like that is just ridiculous, and that's why the Divas division is a joke. And it's pretty clear to me that they don't have any other plans. I don't really know who's going to be the next Diva to be pushed. I mean, is it going to be Tamina and have Nikki versus Tamina? I don't know. What is Nikki? Is she a face or a heel? I still don't know. I mean, 2 months ago she was a face. Now, because Paige is back, she's a heel. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I've got no idea. This company, it's just, sometimes it's just too hard to follow for me. I just don't. I got nothing. So, for me, I think Nikki will win that one. Moving on, Ryback versus The Big Show. Obviously, this is probably one of the worst possible ways you could start a Ryback title reign. Is this just designed for Ryback to pick up The Big Show and shell shock him and make Ryback look good? I hope so. I really do. I want to say Ryback is going to win, but deep down, I get the bad, horrible feeling that the shit show could come out and KO Ryback and walk away with that title. I am very, very concerned. This is a match I'm going to be sitting on the edge of my seat, chewing my fingernails, and going, holy shit, I hope Ryback wins, and I hope the Big Show does not win this match, because if the Big Show wins, oh my god, I'm gonna be... the Big Show, please don't win. That's all I can say. Just please don't win. Why do we need it? We don't need to see another Big Show title reign. How many times have we seen the Big Show hold a title? It's just, oh my god, we don't need to see it. And if Ryback just picks up the Big Show, shell shocks him, and that's it, 1, 2, 3, that'll put a smile on my face. I'll be happy. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Ryback wins this one, but don't be surprised if the Big Show, for whatever reason, has to look strong, has to look good, and is champion. I hope not, but it could happen. Tag title match, New Day versus the Primetime Players. I'm kind of intrigued by this one, because I get the feeling there might be a title change. I get the feeling they might pull the trigger on the Primetime Players. I'm hoping, I really am, because I think the Primetime Players have deserved an opportunity at the titles. They've been going at it for a couple of years now. Yes, they went on a hiatus for quite a while, but they come back. So, the last 3 years, for the most part, they've been a tag team, and they've been working hard. And they have never really had the opportunity they've deserved to really showcase what they can do, and I've always felt as though they deserve better. The New Day, though, are doing really, really well, and them being champions is working, so that's my only concern. Like, do we drop the titles off the New Day even though it's working? You probably shouldn't. But can we make the Primetime Players look good in the process? Yeah, I mean, we can have the New Day cheat and just do everything they can to keep the titles and walk away. That's what they need to do. And make the Primetime Players, make it look like they got screwed over, make it look like the New Day cheated. And that way the fans are going to feel sympathy for the Primetime Players, and they're going to want them to win next time. And then you go to Battleground, and maybe you have the title change hands then. Or maybe you get them screwed again, and then you finally have the third match at SummerSlam, and then the title changes finally at SummerSlam. Primetime Players finally get the big victory. You've had 2 months of build up, and we've been wanting to see these titles being changed. We've been wanting to see the Primetime Players win. They finally win, finally get the big win, and we're happy. We want to see that. And then the New Day can come out and cry and complain, and everyone can say they suck, and you lost. It'll work, and then people will actually care when the Primetime Players win. If the Primetime Players win right now, it'll be a cheap pop, and that's it. No one will care. So let's build it up. Let's have the New Day cheat to win. Let's screw over the Primetime Players, and perhaps, maybe you could even run the storyline of, alright, you guys don't deserve to win it. You lost, get in line, and then, maybe the New Day defends it in a multi-man match, and they just survive again. And you have, I don't know, Lucha Dragons come out, and they try and face the New Day, or have the Ascension, some shit team, and then and you have a triple threat tag team match at Battleground, and you have the New Day pin the Ascension rather than the Primetime Players, and that way you still keep the Primetime Players going, but they haven't lost yet. They haven't really lost properly. Then you get the SummerSlam, do the title change then, and I guess you can have the PTP beat the New Day, but in the meantime, you're still building up the Wyatt family, and you're still building them up, and then eventually maybe the Wyatt family can destroy the Primetime Players after a month or two of title reign, because I don't think the Primetime Players are going to hold the titles for long. Give the Wyatts the belts and let them run with it and destroy the tag team division. Money in the Bank. So 7 men in this match, and like I said a bit earlier on the show, very, very underwhelming matchup. Neville and Kingston are basically just there to do the crazy moves. Kane, I don't know even... Do we want to see Kane? No. So I don't know why Kane's there. He's just the big man in the match. And then you have Ziggler. Yeah, I guess he's very, 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 very small chance of winning, I guess. And then I guess Sheamus and Orton, they have a slight chance, but I don't think nobody really wants to see them win it. And then all the signs are just pointing towards Roman Reigns' victory. That's the only guy I can see. I mean, Randy, he doesn't need the Money in the Bank. I mean, he doesn't need that. Ziggler, I just don't think they'll ever push him that far. Sheamus, it wouldn't surprise me if they gave it to him, and he's a guy I can see having that, and then they can build him up for the next 6 months, then he cashes in. But God, I never want to see Sheamus as world champion again. I never don't. Just don't. So I don't really see him as the world champion caliber anymore, so I don't want to see that. I guess the only guy I can see is Roman Reigns, but like I said earlier on, does it really make sense? yeah, from the history of Money in the Bank, does it really make sense that we have a guy like Roman Reigns who's dominated so much win? I don't know. To me, he's not a guy I would give the Money in the Bank to. But what I do see happening, and I think a lot of people are on the same page as me, he's going to win it. He's going to cash in on Seth Rollins halfway through a Seth Rollins versus Lesnar match. Roman Reigns cashes in, makes a triple threat. Roman Reigns wins the belt, SummerSlam. That's what I can see happening. And kind of like a reverse of what happened at WrestleMania. So if that does happen, like, that'll be kind of cool because, you know, Seth Rollins gets what's coming to him and Roman Reigns gets his rightful victory in the end. So I kind of think that's good. And I suppose, you know, you think about it, doing it like that rather than putting the title on Reigns at Mania would make a lot more sense, and that'd be much more rewarding for Roman Reigns, where he cashes in and he gets his opportunity and, you know, whatever. So I think that could definitely work, and if they're going to do it like that, I'm fine with that. But if they're going to have Roman Reigns hold that briefcase for like the next year, please no. I don't want to see that. I think it's about time we have a Money in the Bank holder that just cashes in soon, because we had the Ziggler, and then we kind of had, like, you know, a few. We had Sandow and, you know, Cena and whatever, Orton or whatnot. So, and then we had Seth Rollins. He was another long one. So I think we need a bit of a shorter one. So if he cashed in at SummerSlam, won the belt, I'd be okay with that. And you can set it up for Roman Reigns versus Lesnar one-on-one. Again, you can have a rematch, because I'd like to see that again. The first one was really good. I really, really enjoyed that. And then you have Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns feud it out. Or another old idea is obviously Ambrose wins the title, and you have Roman Reigns cash in on Ambrose, turning him heel. So that's another possibility. And a lot of rumors are saying that they don't want to turn Roman Reigns. They want to turn Dean Ambrose, and I honestly think turning Ambrose is a mistake. Ambrose, to me, would play the sympathetic heel, babyface much, much better than being the sadistic heel. At this point, Roman Reigns, yes, he's doing a lot better as a babyface, but I just get the feeling he could be a really, really fucked up heel. I just think he could just be an absolute animal. And, you know, he has that cockiness. He has that good pretty boy look to him. I just think Roman Reigns could really be a very, very good heel. And against Ambrose, I think that's money. The other way around, I just don't think it would have as much effect, because other fans are going to be 100% behind Roman Reigns. I don't think so. I think it's going to be more 60-40, 60 to Ambrose, 40 to Roman Reigns. You do it the other way around, 95% are going to be going to be saying, yes, let's go Ambrose, and the other 5% will be saying, yeah, let's go Reigns. So I think it'd be much better in Ambrose's favour, as the babyface's favour, to have Ambrose stay, Roman Reigns turns heel. And we need someone in the main event to turn heel. All we have is Rollins, Kane, Big Show. No wonder the matches are so shit at times. That's all we have. Rusev's now done. We need someone else. So Roman Reigns, to me, turn him. And we now have Owens as well. And speaking of Owens, he's going to be facing John Cena in the Owens vs. Cena 2 rematch against, of course, at Elimination Chamber. No titles on the line again, thank goodness. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think, like I said, my most anticipated match on the show. This is going to be a really, really good one. Is it going to be better than the first one? That's hard to say, because the first one was exciting. You know, trying to beat something that happened the first time is difficult to do. Obviously, the first one was Owens' first match on the main roster, all that excitement about it. Holy shit, he's facing Cena. But in saying that as well, the second one, a little bit more build up towards it, and a little bit more of, alright, Cena's probably going to win this one. You know, if Owens does win, it might be surprising. It's like, it still has that mystique. We still don't know who's going to win it. I mean, the first one, we're kind of saying, yeah, Cena's going to win and fucking screw Owens over, but it didn't happen. So it was exciting in the end. But, I don't know, like, I think this one should get, like, the most time on the card, to be honest with you. I think this should, honestly, to me, this is the main event to me. Owens vs. Cena, 25-minute match. I'd be down for it. I think it'd be fantastic. Are they going to do a third one? I mean, does Cena tie it up to make it 1-1, and did they do a third one, and probably Cena wins the feud overall because Cena has to win? Possible. But I think Owens needs to win the feud. I mean, I think Cena knows that. Cena lose the feud, it's not going to do anything to Cena, but if Owens beats Cena, if he goes 3-0 against Cena, holy shit, you've just made the next top big heel in the company, just like that. And then you can have Owens versus Ambrose, Owens versus Reigns, Owens versus Orton. How many big matches can we have? Owens versus Bryan when he comes back. It's just huge. Whereas you have Cena, 2-1, beats Kevin Owens. Guess what, Kevin Owens? Welcome to the mid-card. Meet Dolph Ziggler. Meet Neville. Meet R-Truth. Yes, I know, it's sounding horrible, isn't it? Yeah, please, come on. Owens has got to win. Owens, should he go 3-0 or 2-0? I don't know. Like, I think storyline wise, to make it a third match, if they want to go a third match, Cena probably should win. And Cena might need to get lucky. Cena might need to cheat to win, might need to do something to win, do something that kind of suggests, oh shit, I can't beat this guy properly. I can't beat this guy legit. It doesn't have to make Cena look like a heel. It just makes Cena look like he's vulnerable, that he can't beat Owens. It just makes Owens look even more unstoppable. And when Owens beats Cena again, and it's just like, whoa, Cena cannot beat Owens. And hell, you could even build up in a year or so and have another rematch between the two, and Owens is now the champion, and Cena is the veteran. He's looking to get back at Kevin Owens for what happened last time. I don't know. Maybe I'm making too much sense. I don't know. But that sounds good in my head. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know everything that you're thinking about. Leave me a comment. Tweet at me at BrendenPlayz. Just tell me what you guys are thinking is going to happen at Money in the Bank. And the final match of Money in the Bank, obviously the World Heavyweight Championship, is on the line. And it's going to be Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Personally, I'm definitely looking forward to this match. I'm not going to lie. I think even though I can't expect Rollins to retain, just a ladder match, that's exciting enough in itself. I think this match is going to be really, really good. I think Rollins and Ambrose just suits more of a stipulation to it. I think the Hell in a Cell match they had was much better than the one at Elimination Chamber. I just think the EC matchup, which just didn't have something. It's just missing something. And I think a ladder match might be the missing component, and I think that'd be very, very exciting, and I'd be looking forward to seeing that. Plus, it makes sense storyline-wise. Ambrose is holding the belt, but Ambrose has to give over the belt and put it above the ring, and then whoever does grab the belt will have hold of the belt and will be the true champion. So that makes sense. So keep going along with that. I like it. You know, that what they're doing now does make sense, and I talked about that last week. But honestly, I'd love to see Ambrose as the champion, but I just get the feeling they're still wanting to do Rollins versus Lesnar, and that's the most logical match at this point. So if you want to do that match, if you want to build up towards that, Seth Rollins needs to beat needs to beat Dean Ambrose all by himself, so he looks good. When Brock Lesnar comes in, you can believe that Seth Rollins has a chance. That you can believe it's just not going to be a one-sided burial, for lack of a better word, that Brock Lesnar's going to dish out. You know, you're not going to see Brock Lesnar just come out and kill Rollins. You can see Rollins, he's going to fight back. That's what we want to see. So, to me, Rollins has got to win. Do we want to see Kane? Do we want to see J&J? No. Do we want to see Triple H? No. Just have Rollins beat Ambrose. Just a 25 fucking minute match. Ladder match. Both men just kill each other out there. And Rollins is the better man on the night. Is that going to hurt Ambrose? No. It'll only hurt Ambrose if they don't do anything with Ambrose once this feud is over. Keep Ambrose going, then it will work. But to me, Ambrose, I just think if any other time, Ambrose would be champion right now. Any other time, because Ambrose is crazily over. He's doing really, really well. I think he's the most over babyface right now, to be honest with you. So, if they weren't waiting it out for a Lesnar, if there's no Brock Lesnar to think about, let's just clear our schedule. The next pay-per-view, we've got no other plans. There's no one else coming back. It's just who we have right now. 100% Ambrose walks away as the champion. You know, he's over, fans love him, give him the belt. You know, and Rollins, his title reign, very underwhelming, like we've talked about. So, any other time Ambrose wins, I just think the bad timing that for Ambrose's sake that Rollins and Lesnar is probably going to happen. And an Ambrose versus Lesnar match, yes, that'd be great, but Brock Lesnar, he's suspended because he wanted Seth Rollins. He wanted Rollins, and he never got his fair rematch. He never got his opportunity for his championship. So if Ambrose is the champion, does that really make any sense? You know, why I mean, yes, he has the belt, he has what Lesnar wants, but I think Rollins is on Brock Lesnar's hit list, so I think Lesnar would still want Rollins. So keep the belt on Rollins so we can do the Lesnar-Rollins match. What's going to happen in that match, I have no idea. I don't know who's going to win that one, but don't get me started on that. I haven't thought about that. But I haven't thought that far. I don't think the WWE has thought that far on how they're going to make both of those guys look good. But I think that match will be really exciting. So let's just keep that going, keep the ball rolling. Let's work our way towards that one. Alright, so that will do it for Money in the Bank. So let me know your thoughts and predictions on Money in the Bank, like I said, in the comments, or tweet at me at BrendenPlayz. And we've got a lot of Money in the Bank discussion going on the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums, of course. So if you want to go on there, there's a big Money in the Bank section, and you can leave your thoughts for Money in the Bank over there. And whilst it's on my mind as well, on the website, BrendenPlayz.com, there's a poll on the website, and the poll has a list of, I don't know, like 10 options, 10 different games that you guys can choose that I will cover in future series on my channel. So you can pick which older wrestling game, which retro wrestling game from the PS2, PS1 that you want to see on the BrendenPlayz YouTube channel next. Which game do you want me to do a series on next? I believe at the moment it's just nearly a head-to-head, neck-and-neck tie between Here Comes the Pain and SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. And on 2007 it would be a GM mode. Here Comes the Pain would probably be a story or season mode. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but you guys know what I mean. So one of those. So I play through on both of those. So you guys can pick which series is going to be aired on the channel next. I'm going to get to most of them eventually. It's just a matter of which one do you want to see next up. We know we just finished the GM mode, so probably Here Comes the Pain would be a nice, refreshing change. And maybe we can pump through that and then we get to the GM mode afterwards. I don't know. But we got a lot of retro games, a lot of things going on there. And speaking of games, on this week's What is Brendan Playing? Not a lot, because if you've been talking to me, you've been following me on Twitter, I can't sign in. I cannot sign into PSN at the moment. My PSN's been down nearly all week, and it is frustrating the living hell out of me. I just want to play. I just want to play some games. I just want to play some Battlefield with some fans. I just want to get online. I just want to sync my trophies. I just want to sign in. I just want to do what you do when you sign in. It's just, it's a luxury that you don't appreciate when you have it. When you don't have it, it's very, very frustrating not to be able to sign in. And I can't sign in with my Xbox either, so I'm kind of like, I can't go online. So I can't play any online games at the moment. So because of that, I had to go back and pick a game that didn't require online, pick a story game, play a campaign. So what I did is I played Infamous Second Son. I finally got around to playing that, and I finished it. Got the Platinum, as you guys know, if you've been subscribed to my Brendan's Platinums channel, cheap plug. And I put up a Platinum video this week for that. So that was my 53rd Platinum. So that was exciting, and Infamous Second Son, one of the better exclusive games available on the PS4 at the moment. There's not a lot, but Infamous is probably one of the better ones. And I finished it twice in this week, so it was a pretty fun game to play. I did enjoy it. Definitely loved playing as evil more so than good. But to be honest with you, when I was good, I was just kind of rushing through it. I really didn't do much of it. But just being evil is so much easier than being good. You kill a civilian accidentally trying to beat up a bad guy. You get evil karma for it. It's just like, oh shit. So it's just a little bit more difficult being good than evil. So I enjoyed it though. I mean, I've always loved Infamous. I loved the first one. Infamous 2 was different. It was still a good game, but it was just a little bit different for me. Like the different voicing, the different look, the different style. Just very, very different to Infamous 1. So that to me kind of just really turned me off a little bit, but I still definitely enjoyed it. And Second Son again was very different as well, and I did enjoy that. And obviously I platinum Infamous First Light quite some time ago. I platinumed it a long time before I got through Second Son, but I definitely enjoyed that as well. So Infamous has been one of my favorite games, one of my favorite series, and I definitely recommend Second Son if you haven't already. What's next up? I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to play next. I'm thinking about getting Elder Scroll Online. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Obviously, I can't go online at the moment, so there's no point in me getting it, but I'm really thinking about getting it. I'm a big fan of Elder Scroll. I think this game could be fun. I was really turned off by the price, the subscription price, but now that's no longer valid. I'm thinking about it, so if anyone has Elder Scroll Online, let me know how it is, and I'll think about it some more, because I'm just really on the fence. I just don't know. I mean, I think it could be fun. Like, I'm a big Elder Scroll fan. I really enjoyed Skyrim, and if I got some people, I got some BrendenPlayz fans to come along and make a guild or something, we can play together online. I think that'd be really fun. So I'm thinking about that. So let me know if you guys have that game. Let me know your thoughts on it. And other than that, like, I don't know what's next. I'm kind of in between games at the moment. Like last week, I talked about being in a bit of a gaming rut, but I had a few days off, and I just wanted to play something. And Infamous just kind of came to mind, and I just kept playing it. So I did start Assassin's Creed Unity as well this week. Now, it's very different to normally how Assassin's Creed are, so I was kind of a little bit off, like put off by it a little bit. So yeah, I'm in between games. I don't know where I'm going to go next, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm probably going to find something, and I'll keep you posted on next week's Let's Talk Tuesday. Okay, so that's that done. Really nothing else to talk about in the world of wrestling. We do have plenty of fan questions we're going to jump into, so we might as well get started on them, shall we? So the first question, it comes from Nabakos7. Do you still watch Lucha Underground? If yes, what is your opinion on the current product? If not, why? Do you regret not watching it anymore? I was a big fan of Lucha Underground when it first started, and I'm still a fan. But, I promoted it. I told a lot of you guys, you got to be watching Lucha Underground. It's the next big thing in wrestling. And for the most part, I was kind of right. I saw it, and I could see this show is awesome. People are going to enjoy it. I just wanted to get more eyes on the show. And I watched like the first 6-7 episodes, something like that, and I just kind of stopped watching it a little bit. I don't know why. I just think other things, I just kind of got busy a little bit. And I suppose the fact that not a lot of people are talking about it, like it's not a big mainstream thing. It's not the WWE, So I guess not a lot of people talking about it kind of kept me interested, because I didn't have a lot of people to talk about it with. There is definitely some people in my forums chatting about it, but when I was watching it at the time, there wasn't really many. So that just kind of made it a little bit more difficult for me to keep my interest going. Because, you love to talk about, what's going on in the WWE. Like, I can make a Let's Talk Tuesday, and you guys are going to give me some comments about Money in the Bank. And, there's only going to be a minority that's going to be like, yo, what the fuck? Did you see that Del Rio versus Johnny Mundo match? That was insane. Like, there's not a lot of people who are going to be saying that. So that's, for me, is a little bit disappointing in a way, but it's also kind of like, I don't know, I just kind of like to talk about people, and it's just kind of like that exposure just keeps reminding me to watch it, because a lot of the times I just forgot to watch it. It's just not in my brain. Like, Raw is just kind of, it's just a routine. Raw's just a routine. Lucha Underground was never really a routine. So, and I don't know, man, it's just, I definitely enjoy it, and every time I watch it, I go, well, holy shit, why am I not watching this? I remember I just watched a random episode maybe 2 months ago, and I watched it, and I'm going, holy shit, why am I not watching this? This is fantastic. I watched the first 5 minutes, and I was hooked. I had to keep watching the whole episode. So, every time I watch it, I absolutely love it. I just got to get myself to watch it. So, I mean, Raw to me, that's my wrestling core. Like, I watch 3 hours of Raw, and then, that's been lately every 2 weeks at pay-per-view. So, once I get through Raw, I've kind of like, I'm satisfied wrestling-wise for the week. So I don't really go out and seek more wrestling. So sometimes I get the itch to do it. Other times, very rare. But I guess when I think about watching Lucha Underground, I think about I could be watching another show like I don't know, like a Boardwalk Empire or something like that. I think about watching like something like that rather than Lucha Underground. I normally go towards that. So just because, I've kind of like hit my wrestling quota, you know what I mean? So I definitely enjoy it. Like, I don't regret watching it anymore. I should be watching it, and all you guys should be definitely watching it. And I think I'll definitely pick it up on Season 2 more often. I might even go back and try rewatch some of the older episodes and get back into it. It's just been a time thing, and just, I guess, a lack of interest on my own personal point. Not that I don't enjoy it, I just haven't really had the interest to keep going with it. But every time I watch it, I love it. So I don't know. What I'm saying probably makes no sense to you. Why the hell am I not watching it if I love it so much? I don't know. I just haven't had the need. I just haven't felt like watching it. And we have another one from Nabakos, and we kind of touched on this one a little bit, but Nabakos7, he wrote, What do you think of the rumors that WWE likes the 2-week space for each pay-per-view because they can write better shows? This is absolutely ridiculous. 2 weeks for a pay-per-view. How can you build a good, exciting pay-per-view in 2 weeks? You cannot. Is it easier to write shows? Yes, because you only have to do 2 weeks of a storyline. It doesn't make you don't have to be a genius to really don't have to be a genius to write a storyline for 2 weeks. To write a compelling storyline for 6 to 8 to 12 weeks requires effort, and the writers are just lazy, and that's ridiculous because we have these writers. We have like 20 writers, or whatever, how many writers there is in the WWE. You can't tell me that they cannot be bothered to write a show that's longer than 4 weeks. Like, come on. It's just laziness from the WWE, in my opinion. It's just ridiculous, and to be honest, I don't know, like 2 weeks pay-per-view build-up, it's really showing. Payback was underwhelming. Elimination Chamber was okay. Only a couple of matches saved it. And Money in the Bank, I'm just not really feeling the build-up towards it. I'm just not really that excited for it. So I think it's really showing they need to, scrap this 2-week crap, get back to the 4 weeks. And as I said last week, it's just a cheap ploy to try and sell the network because they're lazy. They've got no ideas. They don't know what they're doing. So it's ridiculous at this point. They need to go back to the 4-week formula. It's been working well enough in the past. If anything, they should drop pay-per-views, not be adding them more. I think 6-week build-ups are better than a 2-week build-up. Next one comes from Jonathan Hammonds. What is your WWE 2K16 wish list? I'm a big fan of Universe Mode and Let's Talk videos, so I just want to know the things you would like to see in 2K16. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for being a fan. First of all, 2K16 wish list. Bigger and better roster. This year's roster was terrible. Terrible. I'd like to see a big component of NXT guys come in. I'd like to see an NXT mode that's actually good. I'd actually like to see all the guys in NXT coming in. I'd like to see everyone that's been on the main roster in the past year, get them in the game. More legends. I don't want to have to pay for legends that should already be in the game. And showcase modes that are actually interesting. I mean, come on. Mark Henry, Hall of Pain, Christian versus Randy. I kind of enjoyed Christian versus Randy, to be honest with you, because I didn't watch that when it happened in 2011. So I kind of enjoyed that, but yeah, I mean, come on, let's get some decent story showcase modes in. But even though I don't really care about showcase mode, to be honest with you. So my wish list, realistically, I want to see story mode, create a story back in, so I can do cutscenes, can do all the cool shit for universe mode. I need story creator. I want to be able to create an entrance that's not, hang on, hold the phone, I've got someone that I want to talk to whilst I'm trying to walk to the ring. I want more of an entrance than just that. I want to be able to create divas. I want to be able to customize all these people just like they did. The creator suite was good, but needs more to it. It's a nice start, but definitely needs more to it. And as well as that, my career mode, I want them to be talking in it. I actually want wrestlers. I want them voiced acted. I don't want to see text on the screen and that's it. They started to do it more in the NBA. My career, they had a few select guys that started talking. That's good. In the past wrestling games, they've done it quite a lot as well. I know my career is much bigger and much longer than these past storylines in Road to WrestleMania and things like that. But still, this can work. We can get some wrestlers in and let's voice act it. So I think WWE 2K15, it had the potential, but to me, it just seemed as though it was a beta, and it was a kind of not like a demo, but it was just kind of like the template for what is to come. Now, will they execute what is to come well? I don't know. 2K14 was a great game, really, really good game. All it to me was missing was good graphics. And really, that's about it. Just good graphics and a career mode that was good. Do I want to see GM mode? I love GM mode. I just don't see it working without the SmackDown versus Raw rivalry. Like, who are you going to verse? Like, association mode, you have 30 teams to verse in NBA. Who do you verse in WWE? Nobody. I mean, do you have a WWE versus NXT mode? Like, that's not going to work. There's no WWE versus WCW. They're not going to put TNA or Ring of Honor in the games. There's no one diverse. So GMO just wouldn't make any sense. As much as I love it, it just wouldn't make any sense. So a really good and compelling career mode. Like, the career mode just takes forever to get into anything. Career mode needs to be fun, exciting, and needs storylines to happen. Not just I'm sorry, we have nothing for you. Here you go. Face Darren Young this week. Go and face R-Truth. Face who gives a shit. Like, just give us some interesting things going on career mode. And like I said, I mean, universe mode, I think, is just about as perfect as it's ever going to be. The rivalry thing in it just feels as though it still isn't executed properly. To be honest with you, in universe mode, I'd like to feature if I can pick who wins. I'd like to be able to actually book the show legit, but that's never going to happen. But, you know, I would love to see that, just my own little feature, so I can decide who wins the matches. But that's never going to happen. But I guess I could play EWR if I want to do that. But I think, just do what I said. Like, just more creative options. Like, they took away so much creativity from us. And if you bring all that back, you bring all the features that 2K14 had back, and you refine them, you make them look better, and you know, you improve it, it'd just be fine. You know, the game would be good. It's just 2K15 was just bare bones. Stack 2K16 up with some features, and I think it's going to be a good game. Okay, so next one up comes from Josh Stone. Do you think they could put Orton in a tag team to really elevate the tag team division? Now, this is an interesting question. It's been a while since we've seen Orton in the tag team division. It's been a long time. You know, there's been a legitimate tag team. And for Randy's sake, does he need to be in it right now? I don't think so, in the point. But, like, we've seen Randy versus Seth so much now. Like, where does Randy really go from here? That's the question. Like, does he feud with some guys like Bray Wyatt just because? Just to do it? Probably. Like, I don't know. You just have Randy feuding with some guys. A tag team could work. I mean, if they had a serious tag team, I don't know who would you put him with. I have no idea. But I could see Randy doing a little run the tag team division for a while. That's probably what they should be doing. Like, guys like Mark Henry, like Kane, like Big Show, these veterans. Not that Randy Orton's an older guy, he's still very young, but these veterans should be in tag teams to help elevate the roster. These guys are established, people know who they are, people in some cases like them. I mean, Big Show's case, not really, but in some cases people like them, people know who they are, they're established, so yes, it could work. Randy, I don't think at the moment, but definitely in the future, I'd like to see him perhaps get in the tag division. Same with Cena. You know, the question is, who do you put with him? I really have no idea who would you put with him. And I guess it would always feel as though it's just two guys slapped together. I mean, Big Show's been with a lot of guys, and so he did the tag team thing for quite some time. You know, Big Show and Kane were a tag team. Jericho, I think, The Miz and Big Show were a tag team at some point too. So the Big Show has done his tag team part, so I suppose, at least in recent years, he's been a single, so perhaps it's about time that he goes back to tag team. But definitely guys like Orton and Cena at some point should definitely get in the tag team division. Next up comes from, I think it's Bacon Gaming, I'm going to call you that. He's Bacon Assassinating Gaming, I don't know. He's got lots of numbers. How do you like Seth Rollins without the curb stomp? Well, I like the curb stomp. I really do. I'm a big fan of it. And Seth Rollins with the pedigree just isn't doing it for me. I just think Triple H, that's his move. If they do a thing where they have Seth Rollins and Triple H, you know, hang on, hold that thought. Like, you have Triple H, and he's saying, without my help, you know, you can win without my help. So does that mean that Seth Rollins should be using Triple H's move that he's been using for so long? Why is Triple H okay with Seth Rollins using his move, despite Seth Rollins not wanting his help? Like, he doesn't want to help Seth Rollins, so why is he letting him use his move? That makes no sense. If anything, Triple H should have said, okay, you can go do it all by yourself, but by the way, don't use my move. I don't want you using the pedigree. If you use the pedigree, you're going to get disqualified. So Seth Rollins has to find a move of his own. He's got to find his own moves, find his own way. So, in that sense, him using the pedigree just makes no sense at the moment. But before that, it's okay. I mean, it's good enough, and kind of like paying tribute to his, you know, his authority figure in Triple H. Whatever. It is what it is. It's a decent move. But I just think the curb stomp just suits Seth Rollins' moveset a lot more. Just matches up. It's a move that can be done out of nowhere, has an excitement factor to it. I like it. I really do. I think the only real reason You know, obviously besides the concussion thing and, you know, whatever. I think the rumor was that they don't really like how they have the guys on his knees, like, in the position. It kind of makes them look stupid, like, for being in that position, setting him up. I think the setup for it is a problem, but I don't think it's really that major of a concern. I think the move just is good. I think the move is great, and I think most people like it. So I don't know. I understand the concussion thing, but if that goes away, I think Seth Rollins needs to be using the curb stomp again. Next up is from Sandman4448. He wants to know, what do you think about WWE scouting some of the TNA workers to see if their contracts are close to expiring? Bit of a rumor that the TNA, obviously TNA, if they go out of business, WWE are thinking about maybe raiding TNA and taking some of their talents. WWE have always been like, no TNA guys. We don't give nobody from TNA unless they've been in the WWE before, like the Dudleys or Jeff Hardy or Kurt Angle. We don't want anything to do with them. So if they're a TNA guy, out of bounds, off limits, we don't want them. You know, they're tainted. Obviously, they brought in Samoa Joe. They're thinking about bringing in AJ Styles, so perhaps their thoughts are starting to change a little bit. Who would I like to see coming from TNA? The problem is a lot of the TNA guys are getting up there in age. I mean, EC3, he's great. I really like him. So, I would definitely bring EC3 back. It just feels that WWE never really believed in the guy. Just didn't really give a shit about him. I mean, he did look like a goofball. Like, the long hair was not doing anything for him. In TNA, he's looking really good. I like EC3. So, I'd definitely bring him in. Always been a fan of Bobby Roode, so I'd like to see him back. But he's getting up there in age, obviously. And Austin Aries, yes, he's good. It's the same thing. He's up there in age. Like, do we want to bring him in? I don't know. Who would I bring in from TNA? I don't know if I'd bring anybody in at this point. I mean, obviously, I'd bring back Hardy and Angle, and I'd also bring back Bobby Lashley. I've been a big fan of Bobby Lashley, and I know he wasn't a superstar or a megastar, but I would love to see Lashley back. I'm a fan, so I'm guilty as charged, but I'd like to see Lashley back. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of him, but I like Lashley. He's in great shape. He's a beast. Yes, he sounds like a fucking 5-year-old little girl when he talks, but besides that, you know, Lashley's awesome. But I don't know, man. There's not a lot of guys in TNA that I'd be bringing in at this point. There's nobody that kind of goes, holy shit, this guy's got it. There's really nobody. So there's not a lot of guys to raid, but I think it's interesting that they are thinking about bringing in some TNA guys, and so they should be. Like, these guys, a lot of the guys in TNA are good workers. So if they're good enough and the WWE think they're good, bring them in. You know, why not? You don't have to, just because they're in TNA, they're off limits. Like, that's ridiculous. So if they're good enough, bring them in. This one comes from WWE234. What do you think of the 40 Tough Enough finalists, and who do you think is going to win just by looking at the picks? Well, you know, obviously a lot of them are very, very jacked up. It looks as though they're starting to look at a lot of the fucking really, really big dudes, and like all the girls on it are hot as shit. So it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do. Like, they want all the big muscled up guys, and there's a couple of guys that look like schmucks, but they probably won't get in. So if you're not a big muscled up guy, and if you're not a supermodel, they're not really looking at you. So we all kind of knew that was going to happen, though. But the one guy that I wanted to see get through, and that was Zack Ryder's broski, and that was the Big O, and he was on the Zack Ryder Experience or whatever, Long Island IZ, whatever that show that was. I always thought he was kind of cool. I liked him, and you know, when he'd been wrestling in the Indies and he was on TNA, had a tryout there, I kind of kept my eye on him for a while, so I wouldn't mind seeing him on Tough Enough just to see how he goes, if he's improved. I mean, he's not really all that great in the ring, but I think he's got some personality, so I wouldn't mind seeing him get through. Other than that, like, I don't know, everyone kind of looked the same to me, so there was really nobody that kind of stood out. So, like I said, you know, probably expect to see the 10 jacked up dudes and like the like really hot chicks to be on the show. And this one comes from Nabeko7 again. With Tyson Kidd being injured, what do you think will happen to Cesaro? That's a good one, because I think it's going to be a matter of how long is Tyson Kidd injured for. If he's out for 6 months, you got to put Cesaro back in singles. If he's out for 2 months, that's a tough one. Like 2 months, like you could have Cesaro on TV as singles, but I wouldn't really be pushing him. I wouldn't really change much about him. just have him come out with Natty, or I don't know, just even now, like maybe just have Cesaro work house shows, just keep him off TV until Tyson Kidd comes back. It's a bit of a bad time for him to be injured though, and to lose another tag team with the Usos already out. So to lose Kidd and Cesaro, that's a bit of a loss in the tag team division. They didn't really need that. So luckily they've been building up the primetime players to replace them, but after the primetime players, where does the tag team division go from there? So that's a little concerning. But yeah, I think they might push Cesaro as a singles. Just depends on how long Kidd is out for. If he's out for a month, just forget about it. 3 months, I'd still probably just have him working house shows and just let him work it out. But I think he'll still work house shows, but it depends how long he's going to be out for. And I'm talking about Kidd will determine what they do with Cesaro. I don't think they should break them up. I think their tag team was good, and I think that was the best thing that's probably happened with Tyson Kidd for a long time. I think they really gelled well as a tag team, so I'd be keeping them as a tag team if Kidd does come back. And the final question for today's episode is another one from WWE234. What do you think about all the free months that WWE is offering on the network? I'm just asking myself, why am I even subscribed to the thing? I just should be unsubscribing and resubscribing every month and I'll get it free. Why am I even subscribed? I've been a subscriber for over a year now. Why am I still subscribing? I could get it free. I'm paying for something that's everyone else is getting free. It's just beyond ridiculous at this point. I mean, I like the network. Obviously, I've been very critical of it, and there's a lot of things they could do to improve the network. And I just think they're really just doing the wrong things with the network. They're just trying to sell the network on things that just aren't really going to appeal to the mass majority. I mean, the podcast, that's probably the better move. The Austin podcast, even the Jericho one was okay. Those are good. The pay-per-views are obviously the major selling point, but the pay-per-views, bringing them out all the time isn't going to sell the network because the pay-per-view quality is going to be shit. So to me, instead of making it free every month, what they need to do is actually make the network must see. Like, you want to actually subscribe to the network and get something from the network that's exclusive, and you have to be on the network. You need the network. You need a product that people want to watch. And the reason why the network isn't doing as well as they wanted is not because nobody knows about it. Yes, we all fucking know it. $9.99. We know the network exists. It's just the fact that we don't want to subscribe because the quality isn't up to scratch. So them giving out a free month, that's a decent business move, but I think you gotta either just say, look, you subscribe and you get your first month for free. So, and then you can say that you can only have it once. So you can't have a free month every single month. So you get the free month once, that's it. You get a free 30-day trial. And after that, you got to pay. And, I guess there is ways around that. But once you had your 30-day trial, that's it. No more trials. So you get one 30-day trial. Not every month free. You can't just say, okay, new subscribers, free this month. So every second month is free. So you subscribe for a month, cancel, next month, subscribe again, cancel, you're getting it free. So they're really just doing themselves harm in the long run. I don't think it's really improving subscriber rates. Yes, you get the opportunity to browse the network, but a lot of the time you can get through a lot of what the network has to offer within a month. If you binge watch some of it, unless you're watching like all the pay-per-views and everything like that, and you watch like all the network specials, like you could watch Legends House and watch some NXT specials and things like that. You can watch it all within a month, and then you probably don't need it for another 6 months. So yeah, I just think they're shooting themselves in the foot. Just have one 30-day free trial, and that's it. Don't keep bringing it out free every single time. And that's pretty much it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesday, guys. As always, if you have a question, please send it in to BrendenPlayz.com/forums. Send it in to the official Let's Talk Tuesday thread. It will be in the description below. If you want to leave a question on YouTube, you can do that as well. Put a comment in the YouTube video on this YouTube video, on this week's Let's Talk Tuesday YouTube video. Otherwise, I won't see it. Make sure you do that. And make sure you leave a rating for us on iTunes. That would really, really help this show out and keep us growing. So search up Let's Talk Tuesdays on iTunes. Leave a rating, leave a comment, and that'd be really much appreciated. Spreak is doing really well as well, so let's keep that up. We are growing. We're just outside the top 15 right now. We're really, really getting close to breaking into the top 10. So if you guys can keep supporting Let's Talk Tuesdays, keep downloading, keep favoriting, keep playing, keep watching, just do everything you can on Spreaker to help us get better and help us rise up into the top 10. That'd be fantastic. And Money in the Bank coming up, and obviously next week on Let's Talk Tuesdays, we'll talk everything about Money in the Bank and beyond that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. If you are on YouTube, please leave a like and make sure you subscribe as well to see more Let's Talk Tuesdays coming your way in the future. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next week.